Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new weekly watch roundup. Yes, a new episode of what I've been watching over the past 7 days, film and TV. I'm going to talk about it, not too in depth, just a little chat on each one, my thoughts and all that sort of things. Let's get into it. Okay, so I thought to myself, where shall I start today? I'm going to start with film, being that there's only 3 films that I've watched this past week. So, the first film I watched this week was a Blu-ray of mine, and it is Baby Secret of the Lost Legend. Yeah, now this is a film from Touchstone, Disney, that came out in 1985. It's a jungle adventure starring William Catt, Sean Young, Patrick McGoohan. It's about these 2 scientists and they're in the Amazon, well, the African jungle, sorry, and they come across 2 brachiosauruses with a baby, and they have to protect the baby from evil scientists and local folk as well who want to do it harm. So, Baby Secret of the Lost Legend. The reason I watched this is because it came up in a chat a week ago, in a live chat, and it's a film that I remember going to see. I don't remember seeing it, I remember going to see it, and I wanted to revisit it. I was hoping that the film would sort of elicit some lost memories or something like this, but I'll be honest, when I watched it, I have no recollection of this film at all. Just that I stood at a bus stop with my mum and we were going to see it. It's a film that's come to mind quite often over the years. A film that I didn't even know had a physical release on Blu-ray. What can I say? It's okay. I suppose at the time the dinosaurs looked fantastic. They're sort of rubber, partly mechanised, puppeted and people inside, and they don't look too bad really for what for the time of year it was, or the time, you know, not time of year, but you know what I'm saying, when it was in the mid-80s. Yeah, but unfortunately it just didn't bring back any thoughts that I thought it would. So that's that one. Sort of like, yeah, there you go, I watched it and move on. Next film I watched was Star Trek The Motion Picture. Yes, so I did get the 4K set, like so. It happens to be here next to me. And I was blown away by it. The transfer was fantastic. And it's a Star Trek film that I probably haven't seen in a couple of decades because of the you know, it's a boring film, essentially. That's how it's deemed. But you know what? I really enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Beautifully shot. The aesthetics in the film are fantastic. The story is slow, but it's more of a thinking Star Trek movie than a doing Star Trek movie. Quite funny. The thing that came to mind watching it is this must have been quite... Well, I know it's expensive to make, but set-wise and that sort of thing, probably not so much, because the majority of this film is set on board the bridge of the Enterprise. It's amazing how closed space this film actually is. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. There we go. Next one, and I've done a review for this film coming up, is Beast. Yes, this is Idris Elba's and Sholto Copley's new film, in which there's a rogue lion in the savannah and they have to do their best to survive, essentially. Now, I had fun with the film, but it's a heavily flawed film, and my review, I just ripped it apart, because it's one of those films that on the one hand I can enjoy, and on the one hand I can just tear to shreds. It's either a masterpiece or an abysmal film, and I don't know which one it is. It's a fun film, but you literally have to be lobotomized before seeing this film to get anything out of it. It is so stupid, and the writing is so bad, and the characters are doing everything you wouldn't do, you know. It's just beyond belief that I'm watching this film and saying, why would you do that? Why would you have your daughter sleeping with her back to an open window in the car that the lion has broke just a few hours beforehand. You know, you're all locked in this vehicle, one broken, busted up window, and you're letting your daughter sleep in that car seat with her back to it. God damn it, it's so bad, like things like that. It does my name. But anyway, I could go on for hours about this, things wrong with this film. Check out my review if you want to see more of that. So that was it for TV. Film, sorry. Where am I saying? Now I'm going into TV. So I'll be back in a moment after this short break. Okay, so TV. So first up, we have Harley Quinn. Yes, new episode of Harley Quinn, the animated series that's on HBO Max. This was a continuation of last week where Bruce Wayne, using the character of Frank, who's a plant that's alive that lives with poison ivy, has utilised him and this stuff that Harley has made to bring back. Bruce has brought back his dead parents in zombie form. They're sort of plant zombies, and all these other plant zombie people are coming up as well, and they're overrunning Gotham, and it's up to Harley Quinn to save the day along with Nightwing and Batgirl. It's very funny indeed. You know, Bruce is just so, like, you know, this just takes the mick out of this universe. It really does, but it works for what it's doing. Bruce Wayne, it's just fantastic. It really is. It's just so funny. I can't say anything more about it. It's really good. And another animated series now, Lower Decks. It's Star Trek Lower Decks, latest episode of this. And again, another series that is well worth watching. That is a lot of fun. It's very funny. It's great what these characters do. They go down to this, in this episode, they go down to this alien planet where there's these orbs that bring about their desires and this sort of a thing. And there's two groups of Starfleet. There's the cadets of the Cerritos, which is the main crew, and then there's these cadets from this other ship, and they're sort of they have to come together and work it out, but at first work together to solve these problems. But at first they're against one another, and the Cerritos believe these people look at them as being a joke, that they're the joke of Starfleet, but really they admire what the crew of the Cerritos do, and the excitement that they get up to and the adventures they get into. And it's a really fun episode. It's really good. But there we go. Then we had Resident Alien. Very much a filler episode this week, this episode. It did revolve a bit more around Harry, finding out about what it is to be a parent and all this sort of thing after the revelation of the last episode that he is this alien that he thought was another alien of his race is actually him from the future, and the baby that this alien had is obviously now Harry's son because it's Harry from the future, and this sort of a thing, all this sort of, but for the most part it's very filler. But the problem with this show for me is that it has maybe 4 or 5 storylines in each episode, separate storylines, as opposed to how a standard show is written with sort of A and a B story to it. This type of a show, this has 4 or 5 stories running throughout, and this is detrimental to the show because unfortunately, you know, as a viewer, you're not going to be invested in all 5 of these stories. Inevitably, 2 or 3 of them are going to wane behind the others. You won't have, you know, there's going to be stuff, and that's natural. You can't have each storyline on top at the same level of one another for you. It's hurting the show. It really is. And then I watched She-Hulk episode 4. Now this was a Wong-centric episode as well, where Wong, one of the old people who learnt magic at the Carmitage, a character called Donny Blaze. That's Donny Blaze, not Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider. He's using magic, but Wong wants to put a stop to it because it's interfering with his life and things that he's doing, and he enlists She-Hulk to take this Donny Blaze to court and this sort of stuff going on it. It's a great series, but the one thing I will say, and I did do a video on this, is it needs to stand on its own 2 feet. It needs to drop the cameo of the week stuff that it has got. Bruce Banner Tim Roth Wong 2 weeks on the trot. It's too much. Let She-Hulk have her own show. Let her run the show. Let her be front and centre. Introduce other characters, little Marvel characters. Yes, there's a wealth of them that you could do. You ain't got to rely on these established characters all the time to help the show. Again, it's something that's detrimental to it. And that's a bugbear, really. And then, last but not least, is Cobra Kai. I watched the first 2 episodes of Cobra Kai. It's a great show, it really is. I love Cobra Kai. It is really good. However, I don't want to do a big talk on this. I want to watch the series and talk about it when I am done and completed it. So that's it. That's what I've been watching this week. What have you been watching? Let me know down below. Let me know what you've been watching. Let's have a chat about it. I mean, I wanted to watch that Pinocchio film. I didn't get round to it. I will. That might be tonight's watch. I'm going to continue with Cobra Kai. That might take me a few days to get through. I won't spend a whole day in one sitting doing it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on stuff down below and we can have a chat. Thanks for watching. Take care all. Goodbye.